This is a tutorial on how to make your very own plush stuffed bunny. For this project, you will need a 22-inch by 13-inch piece of fake fur, fleece, or other soft fabric, a pair of scissors for cutting paper, a pair of scissors for cutting fabric, thread in your fur color, black and pink, a puff ball for the tail, or you can make a pom-pom using the included instructions. You will also need a marker, whether a Sharpie or disappearing fabric marker. I'll be using a Sharpie because my fur is thick enough for it not to show through. You'll need a hand needle for some finishing touches, as well as a scrap of pink fabric, and finally pins to hold it all together. You're also going to be stuffing the rabbit, so have some polyester fiber fill on hand, or you can use scraps of fabric for stuffing. Download the pattern file from the link on the DVD. The bunny I'm making is from the pattern when it fills up the page, but you can make the pattern any size so long as it's proportional. Cut out the pattern pieces at the black lines. Now it's time to mark your fabric. Trace around the pieces on the wrong side of the fabric, making sure to flip the piece over when tracing the second one. With similar looking parts like the foot pads, it can help to label the piece you're tracing. When you're done, put the pattern pieces in a bag and label it for future use. Cut out the pieces, leaving at least a 1/4 inch seam allowance around all the edges. Gather your 2 sets of ear pieces and pin them right sides together, with each pink piece facing a fur piece. Stitch around the curves of the ear, leaving the bottom open for turning. Clip the curves and turn each ear right side out. If you want to give the ears a crinkly quality, you can cut out 2 more ear pieces from a chip bag or cellophane and slip them inside the ears. Then fold the front part of the ear over and baste it in place. Now pin the darts in the body pieces and head. Stitch the darts and trim them. Pin the leg pieces with the holes to the body pieces, matching up the ovals you cut out of each. Stitch around the circle and trim the seam allowance. Pin the leg pieces without holes to the leg pieces with. Stitch around the outline of the leg, leaving the bottom of the foot open for the foot pad. Clip the curves, taking special care at the points where the leg meets the foot. Pin the foot pad to the bottom of the foot with the more pointed part of the foot pad facing the back of the foot. Stitch around the entire foot pad and clip the curves. Take the head pieces and pin them right sides together from the nose to the corner where the chin meets the neck and starts a straight line. Stitch this seam and trim down the seam allowance. Now you need to place the ears. Where the ears are is up to you. Place them on the right side of the fabric, then flip them down and baste them in place. Make sure the ears are directly across from each other. Pin the tip of the head gusset to the top of the chin seam. Pin one side of the head gusset along the side of the head, ending at the neck. Stitch carefully along this seam, making sure to catch the ears in place. Then clip the curves and repeat for the other side of the head. Pin the inner foot piece to the underbody gusset, making sure that the piece is curved properly and that the toe is facing forwards. Stitch and repeat for the other side. Clip the curves. Pin one side of the front of the underbody gusset to the chest area of the body piece from the tip to the front foot. Stitch and clip the curves. Pin the top of the front foot pieces together, stopping at the bottom of the foot. Stitch this and clip the curve. Pin the heel of the 2 foot pieces together and stitch, stopping at the bottom of the foot. Trim the seam allowance. Pin and stitch the other side of the front of the underbody gusset. Then pin and stitch the front of the foot and afterwards the heel, remembering to clip the curves after each seam. Pin the foot pads onto each of the front feet, making sure that the more pointed ends of the foot pads are at the heel. Stitch around the entire foot pad and then clip the curves. Pin the back part of the underbody gusset to one body piece. Stitch, clip the curves, and then repeat for the other side of the body. Now we'll be attaching the head to the body. Some stuffed animals are created with the head and body stuffed separately and the head stitched on by hand. However, I wanted this plush to be sturdy enough to give to small children, so the head is attached with machine stitching before the animal is finished. The bigger the rabbit, the easier the head is to attach. If you've made a very small rabbit, you may want to hand stitch the seam. It'll still be sturdier than attaching the head later. Turn the head right side out and place it upside down into the body so that the right sides of the head face the right sides of the body. Pin the chin of the head to the point of the underbody gusset in the front. Pin around the head until you get to the end of the neck curve on the body pieces, then stitch inside the neck. Make sure to clip the curves. Pin the top of the body pieces together from the neck to the dart in the bottom. Stitch along this line, then clip the curves. Go over the seams to make sure you haven't made any mistakes or forgotten to clip any curves. Turn the bunny through the gap you left. Stuff the bunny, starting with the smallest extremities like the front feet, and then move on to the larger body cavity. Stuffing settles over time, so don't be stingy. Stitch up the gap using a baseball stitch because it can be sewn and then pulled tight. On some plushes, it would be better to use a ladder stitch, but when using fake fur, the stitches really aren't going to show anyway. To make a pom-pom, cut out a rectangle of cardboard about 3 by 4 inches. Then cut out the middle, leaving yourself with a kind of frame. Cut a slit in one side of the rectangle and tuck in the end of the yarn. Wrap the yarn around the frame numerous times. The more yarn you use, the thicker the pom-pom is. Then take a piece of yarn and tie it around your large bunch of yarn, making use of the frame. The tighter you tie this, the sturdier your pom-pom will be. Then cut the yarn at the top and the bottom of the frame. Finally, fluff it all up and trim it down to the size and shape you want. Stitch your pom-pom onto the rabbit's bottom. Use the black thread to embroider eyes and a mouth onto the bunny. It helps to double up the thread before threading the needle to make a thicker, more defined line. Then use the pink thread to embroider the nose onto the bunny. The nose should be a triangle formed of long stitches going from side to side and coming to a point at the top of the mouth. Tie off the thread, stick the needle through the body to a different location, pull the thread taut, and then snip it close to the fabric. Your bunny is finished. If you made the bunny out of polyester with polyester thread, then the bunny is very good for a small child because it is sturdy and washable and the eyes are embroidered so they aren't choking hazards like some buttons. Whether this bunny is for you, a small child, or a friend, its adorable build and handmade nature will keep it well loved for years to come.